Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review for this evening's Newcastle versus Brighton preview. The Premier League is back, finally, after another international break, and boy, we're looking forward to it, but there is some tough games ahead for Newcastle United. I am joined tonight, my name's Paul, and I'm joined tonight by, of course, my good old muckers, Alex, and, of course, Billy. Sam will be back on TTR Friday tomorrow. But if you do enjoy the show, as usual, hit that thumbs up button, guys. We're so close to 33,000. And of course, if you're new and like what you see, please do subscribe. Free to do so. And of course, I meant to say hit the like button. I got muddled up there. But what the hell? You know this. You know the drill by now. You support the channels in two ways, of course. First, by membership, which is that join button underneath the three of us. And of course, the super chats, which is the $ underneath the live chat, and that will guarantee your comment to be read out on this show. Good evening, fellas.
Good evening to all those out on Viewerland.
Good evening.
Now, Alex, of course, isn't in his normal haunt tonight. He is, where are you at the minute?
Down in Dorset.
Dorset.
I don't even know where I am. Dorchester, somewhere like that. Down here for work. So I'm at the other end of the country to the northeast, unfortunately. I'm very far away.
Very far. However, the Premier League is back, guys, and boy, has it been a long time since we've been able to talk about Newcastle United in an upcoming game, of course. The visitors are Brighton, and it does have a bit of relevance because of a certain Minte that plays for Brighton. How is he going to play? What is his feelings going to be coming into the game? But I guess the thing is, Alex, he never actually played a first-team game for Newcastle, so I don't think the kind of mentality that he'll have. He's a Brighton player now.
Yeah, I think it's more about us than it is him.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, "Oh, we can't be too bothered about it because we never saw him pull on the black and white." Well, yeah, I am bothered by it because he's one of the highest rated youngsters in world football right now, and he's got a huge skill ceiling, and it's in a position that we wanted as well, and it's frustrating. It's difficult to take. So regardless of what people say, this is one of those things where you are allowed an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those where you can see how effective he is for Brighton, even though he's still unrefined. He's just an absolute nightmare to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's among other wingers and forwards they've got amongst their ranks, which we will discuss further. But they don't just have Minte; they've got 6 or 7 problem players up front. So
yeah,
but we will go through those.
I mean, this is a very, very big game, Billy, because Brighton, we can't think of Brighton anymore as just one of those teams that we're expected to beat, because Brighton can put it with the best of them now, and they've certainly got some players that can do that and hurt you big style.
Well, they've got a lot of pace, haven't they? Especially out in the widths. And they've got some very players that have lots of craft in them, like Mitoma, who's quiet last season, but it looks like he's back in form again this season.
Yeah, he does.
They're a hard side to play against. They keep the ball. It's hard to get the ball off them. Once they've got it, it's hard to get it. And we're going to have to be patient Saturday, I think. But I'm perturbed about the Minte thing because at the end of the day, we've learned since that they've done it on the back of an unwarranted loan from the owner, which is there is that. Nice. I'm hoping to change back as a real fortress Saturday, real hostile atmosphere.
Golston Ghost, which I believe is who was a Brighton fan, obviously the Golston ground, no longer there, of course. Minte's decision making is poor. Rudder is a far greater threat.
I think that's an unfair comment, being as Rutter is much further along in his journey than Minte and is a lot older. Spent 2 seasons at Hoffenheim, spent some time at Leeds, and has then gone to Brighton. I watched him a lot at Hoffenheim when he was there. It's just the German team that I watch for some weird reason. So, yeah, I think it's a little bit unfair to compare. I mean, you're not wrong. Definitely Minte needs to improve his decision-making.
Wasn't that a point about Minte, though, Alex, back when he played at Feyenoord, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. But he ended the season with 15 goal contributions, so you don't really care at that point. You take the negative with it, with that kind of player. You know that they're going to make mistakes. We're willing to play young fullbacks who are going to make mistakes. What's the difference playing young wingers? I don't really see the difference, personally. I don't mind. I'd much rather a winger loses the ball up front than my fullback being pressed, to be honest with you. So I don't know. It's just frustrating because we now know it was a PSR issue, and probably it wasn't even needed if the rules were correct. So just a shame.
Niall says, did you see Sanusi played right wing, for under 18s, played well, bar the crossing, but to say we don't cross the ball. Chipper says, Brighton and us are like Jekyll and Hyde. Don't know what sides are going to turn up. Mitoma,
very young.
Last season, says Looney. Alex, there is one thing I want to ask you about, just a sort of side rant away from, obviously, the game. But me and Billy have had our say on the New England manager. And I see you've had a lot to say on X towards the journalists and pundits, just like I did and Billy did. It's disgraceful the way they've gone on, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't normally like you asking leading questions, but in this case, it's exactly my thoughts. So I agree with it.
What do you mean you don't like me asking leading questions? My leading questions are always very good.
That's why I don't answer them. But no, this is absolutely correct. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting. I've called all journalism into question this week, and this is precisely the reason. And they can write articles, and they can be annoying, and they can be angry with us, and they can pretend they don't care. But this is why thousands of people are watching people like us who have no training, no media training. I don't have a university degree in media and journalism and how to write articles. We don't have any of that. We're just passionate about the football. We watch a lot of football. We like it, and we try to make informed opinions and decisions and talk amongst each other. And people prefer that because there's an element of honesty, and we're trying to get better. We're not trying to push a narrative. And to try and push some xenophobic narratives that have been pushed this week is absolutely ridiculous. And it was more the fact that a lot of it was hypocritical, because it was the same publications coming out saying that we wanted Pep Guardiola, and that was a positive thing. They then suddenly were stating that Thomas Tuchel being appointed was a negative thing. So if there hadn't have been the Pep stuff, then they might have at least half a leg to stand on. But now they have no legs to stand on because they've shot themselves in the foot massively. I'm just going to keep going with analogies and cliches because it's just disgraceful. I'm already concerned about the World Cup because they've set a precedent now that they're going to bother this manager in the media. So that's an extra pressure he's going to have to deal with that Southgate didn't, and it's stupid because we need him to be 100% focused.
As soon as he draws a game, all the comments are going to come out. We mentioned Graham Taylor last night.
By the way, Billy, I think we should start just writing down all these cliches that come out from Alex and Sam. I think we could do a TTR book of cliches in the future.
We avoid them like the plague, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Wacky says, good evening. I hope everyone is well. My thoughts go out to those that lost their lives in the horrific explosion in Newcastle today. Yeah, absolutely awful. Absolutely horrible. Gas explosion. I think a little one was killed as well. Absolutely awful. Kyle says, hello, my friend. Okay. I watched this channel since I moved to Newcastle, UK recently. Took long to learn English. Awesome. Trolls, thank you for gifting 5 Toon Review memberships. That is very kind, my friend. That's not the first time you've done that, so thank you very much. Seacrest says, I was accepting that we had to let Minte and Anderson had to go due to PRS, or it's PSR. But now, knowing it was due to an unlawful rule brought in by our competitors, I'm fuming. Rightly so. Richard says, I've seen a couple of Brighton matches. I think he starts well, but been poor since. I think we got a hell of a deal for him. Interesting. I mean, maybe, Billy, he's not the be-all and end-all that we maybe thought we were from the reports that we've heard.
Well, he's young, isn't he? I mean, he doesn't know what he's going to do himself, so defenders have got no chance. He's very naive. He's going to be a fantastic player, no doubt about that. The game he scored against, was it Forest? I can't remember who it was against. But aside from the goal, it was absolutely dreadful. Wrong decisions left, right, and centre. But on his day, he can be a real match winner. He can be unplayable. So
he certainly can.
What Minty will see on Saturday.
Charles has gifted another 5 memberships, guys. So if you are a winner of those memberships, please do say thank you to Charles. And of course, continue your membership after this free month. Steve says, is Minty allowed to play on Saturday? Yes, he's not on loan, Steve. He's an official Brighton player. We sold him. So, yes, he's allowed to play. Lawrence says, it does annoy me when I see people talk up Minte to be messy. Would have liked to keep him, but if it was a choice between selling him, a point deduction, or selling Gordon, this was the best option.
That's not what's happening, though. We're just saying that he's one of the highest potential right wingers and wingers in world football right now. And he is. If you sit down with a piece of A4 paper and you go and have a look at the top 20, 30 best young prospect wingers in the world, he makes that list every single time. That is all that people are saying, because that's the truth. By 23 years old, he might not have worked. He might have had injuries. He might have poor discipline. But from the trajectory so far, it looks like he'll be fine. He's just very young.
Yeah. Can we all please keep the mentions of Liam Payne out the chat, please, guys? Have some consideration, please. I know that some people think, oh, he's just a pop star, whatever. He has a family. He has children. He has a lot of people who loved him. So let's please keep that out the chat, please, and just focus on the football. Thank you. The media won't be allowed in camp with Tuchel. I'm a little worried with him being stuck in a hotel for a month with the players, but good appointment. I'm excited about it. I really am. Brighton shareholder loans date back to 2008. How do you think the Amex was built? Brighton have sold over £350 million worth of players in the last 3 years.
That's not the problem. The problem is 0% interest loans from ownership groups, and that was challenged in court as an unfair thing, and that was proven by law. That's not. That's whether your opinion at this point doesn't matter, nor do ours. That is the line that was considered not fair. They've brought that to the attention, and that's going to have to be changed. Whether that's going to be converted into equity or maybe it's going to change going forward, but there is going to be a new rule set drawn about that specifically. So It doesn't matter what your opinion is on that. That it's a fact that. And we're lucky because I guess we've had 0% interest loans in the past. We did have them under Ashley, didn't we? There was no obligation to pay them back with interest, as far as I'm aware. So, yes, fair enough. You just got caught on the wrong side of the line. But we've also been caught on the wrong side of the line with other things. So it is what it is.
Look, there's going to be big changes, and of course, the Premier League cancelling that emergency meeting says a lot to me. I mean,
because Masters has got to play golf. He couldn't.
But have you guys been on that petition? Have you launched an official complaint? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, sir, for the gifted membership. Very kind of you. Obviously, for saying thank you to Trolls. I mean, look, Brighton, like you said, Alex, they've got weapons in their arsenal. There is no doubt about it. A lot. I mean, you talk about, Billy mentioned Mitoma there. I don't know whether Evan Ferguson is fit or not. I don't know. Of course, Welbeck suddenly hit a vein of form where he's scoring goals as well.
Yeah, I mean, forward-wise, it does look quite scary. They've got João Pedro, which we've not even mentioned yet, who's terrifying. Evan Ferguson, Minte, Danny Welbeck, Rutter, and Brian Gruda, of course, who we've done on about 4 or 5 transfer shows. We were all hyped about Gruda, and he's gone to Brighton. So Brian at the moment hoarding all of the best under-23 talents. Apart from Danny Welbeck, who's the 33-year-old talent. But yeah, like you said, Danny Welbeck's hit a vein of form. I had a little look into him when I was reviewing for this show. He's never got into double-figure goals in the Premier League ever, which shocked me. I thought he must have done at some point for Man United or Arsenal, but he never did. But he's on 4 goals already this season, which is pretty good so far. He's experienced, and he's got a lot of youth around him that are very, very talented. And that midfield is different, but they've got the youngster that they're playing. When I was watching, what's his name again? Jack Hinchelwood, who's only 19. He's a defender, been used in midfield as well. Who looks very, very up for it. They've been benching like Estepinian and some of the players that we thought were absolute nailed on starters who might get big moves away. They've got really good depth now, Brighton have. So I think it's what we said in the season preview. Brighton might sort of fall down the league a little bit, might maybe mid-table if it doesn't quite click because they're all very young. or if they can actually click and have a good run of games, they could absolutely storm. They could do what Palace did last year, I think. I think Brighton have got that capability this season. If they get it right, they could go on a 10-win streak and just absolutely steamroll everyone. And to be fair, in recent memory, only Chelsea have beaten them.
Yeah.
That's only Chelsea. And that was Cole Palmer with his absolute nonsense performance that you're never going to beat. So nobody's really, I mean, they drew with Arsenal. It's a very tough game. It's on paper, it's unlikely a winnable game, but we've obviously got to try.
Yeah. Alan Nichols, thank you very much for gifting a Toon Review membership. That's very kind, my man. And Billy F has also taken a membership. Thank you very much and welcome to the membership club. And thank you all for your support. Billy, there is rumours, and they are just rumours at the moment, that our number 9 will not be fit for Saturday's game. I mean, obviously, I think Eddie will be pressed on that in his press conference tomorrow. So don't miss me and Billy live at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning with, of course, the press conference reaction where we'll go through the talking points of what Eddie had to say. But it is looking like Wilson isn't going to be fit, Billy. And it's becoming a joke now, surely.
Well, he's been out for that long anyway. There's little chance of him being part of it anyway, I've got to say. Whether he's fit or not. You know, he's never going to be match fit or anywhere near match fit, anywhere near sharp enough. But I'm guessing Mr. Isak is fit and he comes back into the side. Yeah.
And the thing is, though, Billy, Isak's got to, I mean, he's got to come back and play well, hasn't he? Because the pressure's on him a little bit because he hasn't looked anywhere near good enough so far this season. But again, a lot of people say we haven't played to his strengths.
No, but let's just hope that, you know, the rest he's had and the injuries cleared up now. He's ready to go Saturday because we know on his day he can be a handful for any defender. I think he can be a handful for Duncan Webster if they're playing at the back for Brighton, no doubt.
João Pedro, Alex, is injured apparently, so he's not going to make the game.
Okay, I mean, I haven't had a look at who the players right. So injured and suspended players potentially for Brighton: James Milner, hamstring; Jean-Paul Van Heck, the defender, the centre half; Pedro, Matthew O'Reilly's a midfielder; Adingra, and Solly Marsh as well. And we've obviously got, well, we know most of ours. It's Wilson, Lascelles, Trippier, Lewis Miley, nearly ready. Dubravka's still out with that knee injury. Oh dear. Matt Target, it says illness, and obviously Sven.
Excellent.
I mean, honestly, yeah, but listen, that was a few weeks ago now. Surely he's not going to be out with the same issue. That would be incredible. That would be the longest. I mean, look, I know that is it's nasty, right? It is nasty when it flares up, but I know that it dies down again. But I mean, he can't be still out with that. Surely,
I think Van Heck's going to play. Yeah, I mean, it says he's out till late November. So, did he play last match? Who did they play last match? Forest? No, it wasn't Forest, was it?
While you're looking for that, Ricky Ellis has also become a new member of the Toon Review. Thank you very much, Ricky. Welcome to Members Club, and thank you for your support. Really do appreciate it. Laura says, this is the week and the game we need to start getting 100% from Gordon, Bruno, Isak, etc. All have been lacking so far this season. No more excuses.
I think Bruno's been coming into his own the past few weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, Gordon. Well, last time we saw Gordon, he was dreadful for England. So let's hope Gordon is back to his.
I think England were dreadful for England in that match.
Well, they were all dreadful. Yes, that's what I mean. They were all dreadful. But look, we'll see. Look, Gordon is back at Newcastle now. He's got a new contract. His head's in the right place. You know, let's just support him, and hopefully he'll turn it on Saturday. Peter Proudlock, good evening, matey. Wouldn't surprise me that Masters cancelled the meeting to go and buy new underwear, as his current ones are probably covering skid marks since he's crapping himself so much right now. That's not a bad point. Gary says the FA will be working in the corridors with the septic red and whites and their minions. Well, yes, I mean, we know that. Goldstone Go says, is it Baleba or Baliba? Is the one to watch in midfield going to be a top player?
We like Caesar as well. He played well, didn't he? Caesar played really well for him last season.
Yeah,
in the 10 role.
Well, he's been on the bench a lot. You know, this is what I mean. Their Estepinians and Encisos have not. They've got a lot of depth. They've got a lot more depth than people have given credit for. There's definitely a lot there they can change. Like the last match, they beat Spurs 3-2. And they
were 2-0 down in that game as well. Let's not forget that. You know, they'd
got Gruda, Tariq Lamptey, Veifa, the new guy, and Enciso, Estupinian, Evan Ferguson, all on the bench. So they've got a lot of players.
And let's not forget how much we were bigging Gruda up when he was linked with us. You know, we did a transfer show on him. Yeah. So
he's not played much, has he? He's not played much for them at all, has he?
He's quite young, so
but they've got a hell of a squad. They will not be taken for granted, certainly not by us fans. They are a very good side at Brighton, and they're doing really, really well. Bath says, yes, I'm good. Just got a new puppy, so I'm tired. Bath! Bath! Join the club, mate. I am proud to say that the Toon Review has a new member as well. I got my assistant's dog today, my puppy dog. And I'm pleased to say, after losing Elsie, my golden retriever last year, I now have another golden retriever in my life. I may as well put the picture up. Alex has seen him. This is Marley, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, bless.
And he is 9 weeks old. He is an absolute chunk. He is going to be like a big white. He's a white golden retriever. He's going to be a polar bear, but he's going to be my companion, trained up to be my assistant's dog, and he'll go everywhere with me. So I'm absolutely delighted to have another golden retriever in my life. And I have to say a big thank you to Susan because, you know, she was, when I lost Elsie, she saw what it did to me. I'd never really recovered from losing her. And to get another one in my life is just absolutely incredible. So thank you to Susan for helping me make this happen. I'm absolutely over the moon. Anyway, let's move on and get a few more comments. Jed says, I own a very shop in local area, North Shields. I like to broadcast your channel to patrons. They like very much. Since I moved to the UK, I wish to meet Billy in Newcastle.
Wow.
Yeah, Jed plays the commentary in his barbershop. So it's awesome. So thank you very much for promoting the channel in that shop. Joining this great members club tomorrow, says NUFC lad. Thank you very much. Mate, I mean, this is a normal. The voting's over. We can't do anything else with it now. So it's gone. Whatever will be, shall we say. Dr. Howe, a member for 19 months. On the channel. Marley looks so adorable, Paul. Thank you. He's very nervous at the minute. We brought him home. They fed him just before we brought him home, guys. And, of course, he was very nervous in the car. And he vomited over Susan 3 times, but all in a nice little blanket. But me, no. I then carry him into Pets at Home to get some essentials. And he vomits on me, all over me in Pets at Home and on the way home. And then let an almighty waterfall of poo out the back end, which I then had to clean on my hands and knees on the carpet. But that's all about owning a puppy. Hopefully he'll be all right once he settles down and the anxiety disappears a little bit. Exactly. Martin says, has Billy still got Bruno in his FPL?
Yeah, I think I have.
Have you got Bruno Fernandes and Bruno Guimarães?
No, Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, I've got him deliberately, so he's shit.
Yeah, yeah. We don't call the Man United one Bruno. He's Mr. Fernandes. No.
Paul's frozen.
I thought it was me then because I'm on.
No, it's definitely Paul.
Hotel internet.
Your internet's better than Paul.
That's because we said too much about Man United. It broke his internet. Oh,
no, I'm back. I'm back. By the way, I have just brought. I have got now the super fast internet here, so it's still like, you know, just
settling down.
You know, when you get a new internet in, it always sort of reboots and a couple of times. It
does it? Is that a thing?
Yes, it's a thing. Trust me, I used to work for them, and plus, doing videos now used to take 50 minutes to upload a 10-minute video. It takes 30 seconds now. So if I need to release a breaking news video, bosh. However, what was I saying there before I was rudely cut off by the internet?
Bruno Fernandes in my FPL team. He's
yes.
inside this season, yeah.
Yes, Billy Trey is actually giving up any chance of him winning anything in FPL by putting players in that every time he does are guaranteed to be shit. He's done this now for a couple of seasons. So hats off to Mr. Trey, because he is putting the Newcastle United team and the Premier League first by some players playing shit, then he is winning money on FPL. So congratulations and well done to Billy Trey. Yvonne says, Wilson's out. Are we not surprised? Not even on the bench. Who knows? I mean, it's becoming a joke now, Alex. Surely, if Eddie Howe says he's not fit tomorrow, when he's been sort of saying, oh, he'll be back after the international break, it's a farce, man.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that annoys me is, well, I say annoys, it's probably just bad timing, but I think Wilson's going to end up being fit as the fixture congestion starts to kick in, sort of the Christmas period. And I think it's a shame that Osula will have done all this training and adapting and settling in. And as soon as we get kind of that need for rotation, Wilson's probably going to be available then. And it's just annoying, isn't it? They're never available, and this is for the both of them now. Look, I love both of them. They're fantastic finishers. They've done very good things for us, both of them. But Alexander Isak and Callum Wilson are useless at staying fit and helping the rotation of our team. They're always injured at the most awkward times for our team, and that's not their fault. It's very unfortunate, but it's never to our benefit. Well, if an injury can ever to our benefit, we probably can't. But it's just always one of those things where one of them just comes back and the other one's got to slog it on their own for months and months, and then the other one will come back, and it's just. I think most people there was a percentage of the fan base that were at the end of their tether 2 years ago. A lot of people joined the bandwagon last year, and I think I'm about ready to jump on it as well now. We'll see what happens when he comes back.
It's not even a running joke anymore, is it? It's just bollocks.
It's just about reliability. I would rather take somebody that's less clinical than Callum Wilson just for the reliability factor at this point. Yeah. They don't have to be fantastic. As much as we dissed Chris Wood, at least he was available. We need a body. We need somebody who's going to.
It's strange, isn't it? Because Brighton have a Callum Wilson-esque type striker who's now been fit for a while, Danny Welbeck.
Yeah,
and he's scoring goals.
He's had his injury problems.
In the box, he's a wily old player, Really.
By the way, I do apologise to Jed. It's not a barbershop he has. It's actually a kebab shop. So at least I hope it is. Otherwise, they sell kebabs in a barbershop. But sorry about that, Jed. But yeah, listen, drop us an email, mate. Tell me where you are, and maybe we'll pop in for I mean, you've told us free kebabs there. I mean, Billy will crawl on his hands and knees from Coventry for a free kebab. So let us know, and we'll pop in. Andy says Bruno limped off midweek. Rumours that he may miss Saturday with an Achilles problem.
Did he now? Let's have a look.
I didn't hear anything about that, but
I didn't watch Bruno. I watched Tonali. I watched the Italy stuff. That was really good.
Fubar says the striker that's been playing for Sweden has been outstanding since Isak has been out. He needs to start banging in the goals, or he will lose his starting place in the national team at this rate.
Well, the two of them played together even better, Gyökeres and
Gyökeres, yeah.
Bruno did get subbed off on the 79th minute.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. By the way, Dubravka was back in training, apparently, in the training photos.
Yay. Fantastic.
Woohoo! Anyway. Barth says Tonali for captain, please. Paige says is Evan Ferguson fit? Because if he is, then he's the threat. He's a very good player, Evan Ferguson.
Can I just make a point about that Tonali for captain, by the way? Do you remember what he did to Grealish against Man City with his little spat, his little mini fight? He did that for Italy as well. He's got a little bit of a mean streak about him. He won't let anybody push him around.
I love it.
He's a bit of a unit.
Yeah. But we saw that for Milan, didn't we? He was sticking up for his teammates for Milan as well. And he's got that little bit of spice, Billy. I mean, is that something?
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Nothing wrong with that in the midfield. Absolutely not.
Absolutely. Yes, I know you can. Ghost Pie Mai. I probably battered that name, by the way, so I do apologise. Loan target in January. Hopefully he plays somewhere and we can sell him in the summer for a few quid. Not much, obviously.
Neither are going to happen. He's just going to sit.
He won't be fit, will he? We'll get him loaned out and we'll get sent back. He's got scabies or fucking shingles or something.
What is it?
Some strange disease that no one gets anymore.
Billy, it's what is it he's got, Alex?
Eczema.
Eczema. Is it eczema?
Get some leeches on it. That'll cure it.
He's not on a pirate ship, Billy.
Get some leeches on it. Get some vitamin B down him.
I mean, it's a long time to have a flare-up, I must admit, if that's the case tomorrow. Connor, thank you for your super chat, mate. Breaking news, Wilson doubtful for Saturday. Oh, dear. It's not great, is it? Brighton are a decent outfit and will pose us problems. Well, look, Trippier's not playing, so I would take that Livramento will start the game, Alex. And does he go with Lewis Hall at left back again?
That's an interesting question, actually, because of obviously it depends who he plays on the right, because he's got options. It could be Ruta, it could be Minter. Very, very curious. It's the whole do we play Lloyd Kelly left back because he's a more defensive player and more experienced, even though he's a centre half, or do we play Lewis Hall because he's a little bit more technically gifted and allows us to play football a bit more? It's a real tricky one. Look what we did against Spurs. We were playing one of the best possession-based teams in the league, and the game plan we went with was absorb pressure and hit on the break with Anthony Gordon, with Harvey Barnes, and try and be very disciplined and focused. I know people don't want to hear this, but I think Brighton are of similar quality in possession to Spurs. Fair enough, they haven't maybe got like a Maddison or somebody, or there are a few players short of quality of what Spurs can put in an 11. But in terms of the play style, would we try and fight them at their own game? Would we try and win the ball and try and win the midfield battle and have a bit more? I'm not sure, because we've got Tonali back, so we've got more weapons to try and do that. But it's which way are we going to go? Are we going to try and fight for possession, or are we going to play like we did against Spurs? I'm leaning towards maybe counter-attacky Spurs kind of lineup, possibly, and then it suits kind of Tonali to a point. Even Sean could get involved at some point. I know a lot of people wouldn't like to hear that, but we might play on the break. I wouldn't be surprised if we concede possession on purpose in this game. I mean, it is at home, isn't it? Is it at home?
Yeah, it's at home, but playing on the break at home, I'm not sure I like the thought of that.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but those are the two directions we could go in. Maybe we'll go for it. We obviously, with Tonali now back, we didn't have Tonali when we played Spurs. We do now, so we might go for it.
Yeah. Jed, I knew there was a barber earlier on in the chat said that he played our commentary during the game. So in the barber shop, so that's where I've got you mixed up. But let me know where you are, because I'm partial to a kebab.
Much more than a haircut, anyway.
Son of a bitch. I know my, godly frame. You would never think that I would like kebabs, but I do. Jack says, even gents sat in South Carolina waiting on a flight back to Blighty. I would stay where you are, mate. The weather's shit. Andy says, that's why Bruno Fernandes sucks. Thanks, Billy. Mystery solved. Indeed. Look, Billy, the left back again is a sort of talking point, I guess, because sometimes he's gone with Kelly, sometimes he's gone with Hall. Lewis Hall started very poorly, I thought, against Everton. Got better throughout the game. Does he stick with him?
I would. Yeah, personally, I would. I've seen nothing in Lloyd Kelly with his backing off that makes me think he's going to be better defensively than Lewis Hall. I wouldn't mind seeing him at centre half, but not a left back, not for me.
No. Right. What about midfield? Are we going with Tonali, Bruno, and Joe?
You're fit.
Having said that, Bruno may not be fit, so who comes in for? Oh, let's not even talk about that.
Sean.
Yes, it will be Sean, won't it? It won't be Willock. I don't think you make that mistake again.
Willock's had another 2 weeks, haven't he, since the last game? So maybe he's a bit further on. So maybe Willock.
Yeah, but we've said this about Willock for ages now, and he hasn't done it since he's been injured, has he?
That's true.
Yeah, but he's been asked to play a slightly different role.
Yeah, yeah. Goldston Ghost is back again saying, how have Brighton cheated PSR when it wasn't against the rules?
He's responding to PD Proudlock there. I mean, Proudlock's just obviously said something that's not quite bang on. It's not that it was against the rules. It's that, I mean, technically it was. I guess they've proven that it's an associated party transaction. It's from the owners and it's interest free. It's a conflict of interest. It needs to be fair market value. That's what they adjudged. But it's not them breaking PSR rules, because there's loads of other clubs that have done exactly the same. So no, I don't think any club will get in trouble for it. They'll just have to shuffle the rules. So yeah, it is what it is.
They'll shuffle the rules now when potentially PLAF could loan Newcastle £500 million interest free.
Yeah, they could have done that. Yeah.
Lewis is asking if there's any truth in Isak stalling on signing a new contract.
There's been a few rumours about that just from journalists, isn't there?
Well, yeah, but they're not exactly filling themselves with glory this week, the journalists. So I wouldn't take a word of that as gospel anyway.
I have no idea.
Yeah, just listen. Let them get on with it in the background, and like they did with Anthony Gordon, because yes, there was rumours going around that Anthony Gordon was discussing a new contract, but it sort of went away, and then all of a sudden he'd signed it, which is hopefully what he's going to do.
Has it been announced yet, the Gordon one?
Yes.
It has.
It has.
I've not seen it.
It has, yeah. Definitely. 100%. So let's just see what happens with Isak. Guys, you two need to get up to times.
2027, Joe Willox. So at the end of the season, he's got 2 years left.
Billy, Andy wasn't talking about Gyökeres. He was talking about Sebastian Nanazi. I don't know. Nanazi?
Well, Isak will be back in as soon as he's fit. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, because he's banging in the goals for Sweden. Slothy says Wilson won't be back until December, I'm guessing. Well, it'll be the next international break now, and then we'll see what happens after that. Apparently, Toon have 3 new youngsters. Can anyone pronounce their names?
Today?
I don't want to batter anybody's names, to be fair. I think it would be wrong of me.
There was a thing yesterday. I don't know if you saw training.
What's that?
Rory Finneran made the top 50 youngsters to watch in world football.
Did he really?
I saw that, yeah. I saw that, yeah.
I mean, the question is, will he be ever given a chance, though? That's the thing. Yeah.
We need to sell him for a lot.
Look, it's been said about Eddie Howe that he doesn't really want to play, or he's not keen on playing too many youngsters, is he? So whether he comes through or not is a completely different ball game.
Well, that being said, we have just recruited a new role in terms of what was it called? Is it a loan analyst and something?
Mm-hmm.
We've just hired, and that vacancy is now gone. So they've just hired somebody specifically to go and help with that. Again, in my opinion, massive drop ball from the club. This should have been done 2-3 years ago. We should have had somebody to go in and help Shola. There should have been people to go and assess how people are getting on in loans. And I'm shocked that this role didn't exist 3 years ago. That is negligence. That's ridiculous. And considering we're trying to be the best of the best in world football, that's shocking that you've just got Shola presumably just ringing round. It's just mad. It's not good enough. It really isn't.
Shola. Oh, dear. Paul says Tonali is Italian. He's a master of the dark arts. He had Grealish in his pocket. Watch this space. He's first class. Slothy says we seem to be better against the better team, so hopefully a good win on Saturday. Yeah, we do. We do. But the thing is, then we don't put other games to bed that we maybe should. I don't know, Billy. I don't know how I feel about this game, because Brighton are an excellent side now. And I think if we're off the pace, like we have been most of the season, Brighton have the ability to beat us.
100%. We've got to be our top metal like we were against Manchester City. Similar kind of performance to that will only be the thing that will get us 3 points out. We've got to play right to the top of our ability, no passengers, and everyone pissed in the same pot. And if we do that, we can win the game. And even then, it's not going to be easy, because Brighton, it's hard to get the ball against them. They're so possession orientated You know, to get the ball off them, it's real hard. And when you do have it, you can't give it away willy-nilly, as we've been doing at times.
Yeah. Slothy says Willock's been poor. Niall says Bruno is fine. Keep up the work, lads. Up the Toon, says Dave. Thank you, Dave. Steve says, I'd rather go with Willock, honestly. Sean is shocking these days. I mean, it's what Sean gives you, though, doesn't it? I mean, probably more on the defensive side, Alex, which is probably why you'd pick Sean over Willock against Brighton.
I mean, if anybody wants to know what Sean Longstaff is good at, just go and watch the Southampton game. That is why Sean is in the team, because he'll do as he's told. He'll focus. He'll block passing lanes. He'll shadow. He'll make sure the structure's right. He's good at that. He's always been good at that. I think people just expect too much. I think people need to understand the level he's at in their heads, and then that's it. We don't need to have a go at him because he's not scoring worldies, or he's not getting on the end of a 40-yard little flick through from Bruno. Like, sometimes it works. It did against PSG, but he can't consistently do it. So I don't know why people expect more from him. That's why we bought Tonali. Tonali was meant to go in front of Sean in the squad, and that is what is happening. So we just need to be supportive of Sean when he plays, because he's a rotation player. He is from the northeast. He'll work his socks off for the shirt, and it is what it is. He's better than anybody we would get. If we had to go and buy a 4th, 5th choice midfielder, there's not that many better than Sean that are willing to be 4th and 5th choice. There's just not.
And remember, he said 4th or 5th choice there, guys, before you jump on him.
Because you've got Willock in there as well, and so I mean that's. Well,
I think Willock's got more to prove than Sean at the moment. To be honest with you, Alex, I really do. Really? I don't think Willock's performed. Sean, for me, has done all right this season. Not great. I mean, he did get a 2 off me in one of the games, but he has been a little bit better, and certainly better than what Willock's shown so far. But they're two very different players, aren't they? They're very different players.
Lewis Miley's about to come back as well, so that throws a big curveball. Jamie Miley, if he does well on loan, will come back. Joe White's out on loan, will come back. That's all of a sudden a big midfielder pool that we've got to try and figure out. And I would imagine, I mean, this is maybe a bit premature to predict this, but you've got Willock and Longstaff at the end of the season. One of them might not get a contract extension. One of them might get sold. Like, if it doesn't work this season, because we're going to have another big midfielder pool to select from. We probably won't keep all of them.
Absolutely. Ian says it was on Radio Newcastle that Gordon had signed his new deal. Yeah, it was on there, but I mean, there's a few people saying that they've heard nothing. I'm 99.9% sure that I read that he'd signed the contract, and it wasn't.
I don't remember seeing it on the club page.
Well, easiest thing to do is go and check his contract somewhere and see if it's been updated.
Not me. Crazy contract over here, mate. Yeah.
You know what I mean, Billy? Oh, he's in one of them. Mundo, the young striker from Bradford, has been training with the first team this week. Yeah, I read that. Whether you can read into anything, I don't know. Fubar says Lewis Miley is back on the grass training yesterday. That will be a huge boost when he comes back, even if it's just extra support for rotation and cup games. I think he'd be used more than that. More than rotation and cup. I think Eddie's a big fan of Lewis Miley. Look, the thing is with Lewis Miley, Billy, he's done what he's been asked to do and more. And I think he's achieved a lot, and he's pushed himself into the reckoning now.
Well, he's proved himself as a Premier League midfielder, and at the age of 17, that's an amazing thing. Year 1, okay, he's had injury problems, but once he gets himself back to fit, maybe he's a bit stronger now. Might be able to get more out of him. No, I think he's definitely, you throw him in the mix of the midfielders we've got, without a doubt. And if I'd say probably maybe even above Longstaff.
Yeah, good point. I think Sean will be worried. He'll be certainly looking over his shoulder anyway. Brighton conceding a few goals of late. I wouldn't be surprised if we batter them, says Anthony. I'm not predicting a battering, because when I do, it fails miserably. Ian Hogg, welcome to Toon Review membership. Thank you very much for your support, and welcome to Members Club. Tom says, come on, Sean is not shocking. He's a decent Premier League squad player.
Yep.
I mean, Alex has banged that drum for a long, long time now. Jilly says, well, I'm sure I'm wearing Doc Martens. Oh, I've got no idea what's going on there. Tony says, I'd like the team to go to up their game and work rate like they did against Man City. I mean, that's the thing. You mentioned that before, Billy. They've got to go out there with the same sort of attitude, because if they don't, Brighton will take their chances. And I know a lot of people are saying that Brighton haven't, they've conceded a few goals of late, but they've also come back into games of late as well, so that you can never write them off, even when you're 2 goals ahead.
Eddie Howe's job is to make Man City the benchmark. Really, it is really. And if you can do that, then I think we'll be fine this season, and I think we'll be fine Saturday. It's getting that work out of the team week in, week out.
Why, though, Alex, would the players not give the same effort or play the same way that they did against Man City? Surely, I know it's Man City, it's a big, huge game, that's the champions, etc. But why can't they have the same sort of attitude?
Well, there's no reason they can't, but I don't think they were. It's not that they weren't trying before the Man City game, because a lot of the interviews suggested that they were, and it just, people weren't up to full fitness, things weren't clicking. It took a bit of time, and to be fair, that's probably down to Eddie Howe, Jason Tindall, and the coaching staff, because we did have a full preseason. Fair enough, there were international competitions, but I don't think. I think there's definitely got to be scrutiny on that preseason, because we didn't start the season well by performances, by points, yes. Performances, no. And Eddie Howe has stated that himself, but that's not up for debate. That's the manager's opinion as well. So the fact that it's taken until the Man City game is annoying, but Billy is absolutely spot on with what he said. The players have now put themselves in a corner, because Eddie Howe can now use the Man City game as a benchmark and go, look, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. Go do it again. So in layman's terms, to players, that makes a lot of sense. As long as they understand their roles, who they're man marking, when they've got to run back, when they've got to do this, go and put in 100% effort. They've done it at Man City. That needs to be the gold standard now. It's got to be.
Well, to make you all feel better, the referee for Saturday's game is Peter Banks. And VAR is Tony Harrington. Holy shit.
I don't think they're the worst, are they?
Billy, they're all as bad as each other. Let's be honest. Peter says, saying why can't the players be like against Man City is like saying why can't we be as loud as against PSG or big games like that? They're human.
He's got a point.
Yeah, but they're also professional football players playing for the Newcastle United badge.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. That's the same as
it would if I were manager, lad. I tell you, I'd be in that dressing room kicking ass, sunshine.
Putting an extra 0 on the salary doesn't mean they can just run faster. That's not how that works.
I'm not talking about salary. I'm talking about the badge.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It doesn't matter what they're on. The badge that counts.
If you could do it every week, then someone would do it every week, and nobody does. No team does it every week, which is proof that it's not possible. Otherwise, you would have somebody doing. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I know. Peter Merrifield is a new member. I think that's a renewal. So thank you for your continued support, Peter. Michael says, getting sick of the BS. We want to move forward. Ditch Longstaff and Miggy. Walking FC UK ups.
All right, we'll have no squad depth then. We'll just keep 11
I think Miggy's going in January. All the reasons towards Miggy.
To be honest with you, last couple of games, Miggy's been one of our best players. I think he starts Saturday.
Whoa!
Big shout.
Billy.
Well, he was fantastic at Everton. He played really well against Wimbledon.
Billy, fantastic. I mean, look, I know we praised him, right? Don't get me wrong, but fantastic in Miggy in the
compared to Murphy, absolutely.
We also have a transfer show derby because the left back is going to be Ferdi Kadioglu, who we've done like 4 times on transfer shows as well. The Turkish Trippier, as we dubbed him when we were reviewing him. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Billy's making a big statement there. Like, you'd start Miggy.
Well, ahead of Murphy, yeah, absolutely. I think he's overtaken him at his performances of late, 100%.
Well, Murphy was good against Man City.
It's been shit since then. I mean, really shit.
He's not.
But Miggy's been shit for 6 years.
But he hasn't been shit for 6 years, has he?
Well, he has. He went through one good goal scoring spree, and that was it.
6.
Oh God! I mean, should we put a poll up for the last 10 minutes of the show about should we start Miggy? Let's see where the fans are.
If Isak's fit, then
then
he can't start.
No, he won't. If Isak's fit,
Now, I'm not putting a poll up now then. It's pointless because we don't know if he's sax fit. So
if he's sax fit, then Gordon
point.
goes right, Barnes plays left. It's simple as that.
Well, does he? How many times has Eddie thrown spanners in? You know, there's no guarantee that he does that, is there? We haven't got any Spaniards, have we?
Manquillo's gone, Paul. Sorry.
You two break me in many ways. God. I like coffee, says he'd start, Miggy.
You like Murphy, I like coffee as well.
Jilly says 100% better than Murphy at the moment.
Foxy said he's just got Paraguay in the World Cup. Has he? What did Miggy do?
Yeah, but it's different when you're playing like nations who have
whoa. Be careful. It depends who they played. They played Venezuela. Okay.
Yes, Venezuela. The
everyone's favourite.
Hey, they have Rondon up front. Be careful.
Rondon's 105, Alex.
He's not that old. How old's Rondon now? He's 35. Okay.
Listen, Venezuela is more popular for something else than football, and we all know what that is. And I'm not surprised Mickey can play well. Let's just.
I thought that was Colombia.
It's both, Billy. Trust me.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, they grow a lot of horses in Venezuela.
Socialism.
I won't sniff at anything like
that. Miggy was playing number 10 for Paraguay. Yeah, he doesn't play there for Newcastle, though, so it's pointless comparing them because he doesn't play. He's never played. He will never play number 10 for Newcastle, so it's pointless even discussing it. I'm shocked you came out with that, Billy. It's got me back up now because I was
Murphy. Yes, I think he did. He has to start, but I just mentioned.
I mean, to diffuse the situation and have a little giggle, SofaScore are telling me that Rondon is proficient at high pressing, which I think is quite funny.
Unless he's resting, jumps off the top rope.
High resting, maybe.
How old is Rondon, Alex?
He's 35. I don't even know where does he play now. I don't even know.
Well, if he plays for Venezuela, it's another wonder he can play well in home games.
He's never quit when he was young, was he? So I guess that ain't gonna be a problem for him.
He plays for CF Pachuca or
Everyone's favourite.
Pachuca. Where are they? Pachuca.
Stephen, I agree 100% with you. Not to be sniffed at of Venezuela, indeed.
He plays for the team who are 15th in the Mexican League.
Good side.
Graham's obviously had a miserable day. The badge, load of bollocks. They are players. They will kiss the badge and profess their love for the club, but if they are not fans, if they're smoggies, offer them 30 grand extra, they would be off. Well, good evening.
I don't think Bruno knows what a smoggy is.
He hasn't a Scooby-Doo. What a smoggy. By the way, I drove through Middlesbrough today to get the dog, and Nunthorpe, I think we ended up in. Quite a nice area, that. Certainly no smog there. Very nice houses, by the way. Huge. Kyle says, I do not like Miguel Almiron. Cannot shoot and always backwards. Get my very anger. Well, it's safe to say that Kyle doesn't like him. Rondon, Foxy says, Rondon, top goal scorer, winning the CONCACAF Champions League for Parachuta, will be in the World Club Cups. Oh, bollocks. I can't read what's happening to my eyes.
I tell you what, did you, by the way, I should probably save this for Fridays, but I've got something that's really irritated me about bloody Atlantic.
Well, you're not going to be on tomorrow night, Alex, are you? Because you're journeying home.
No,
so
I know.
You well get it out now, mate.
Oh,
get it out.
It's irked me. I don't know if you two have seen this, but the Inter Miami qualifying for the Club World Cup. So they basically, typically, they are supposed to announce which tournament, trophy, championship you're meant to win to get you the qualification into the Club World Cup. And the MLS just didn't do it. They didn't announce what the entry was. What do you have to win? They just didn't tell anybody. They basically waited for Inter Miami to win something and then went, that one. Just so Messi can be in the Club World Cup.
Just so Messi
and it's
can
an
be.
absolute farce.
Does anybody actually give a shit about the Club World Cup?
They should scrap it. 100% they need to scrap it. That's the fixture.
I don't have any interest in that at all.
half the Nations League
None.
games and bin the Club World Cup.
Well,
That's my opinion.
I mean, look, I prefer more international competitive games. I don't want friendlies. Friendlies are just poo. But, you know. Right. It is that time of the night. Graham says, I may be a Forest fan, but I do know about Smoggies and Mackems.
Good man.
Well, you put Mackens for a start.
He's played for Man City.
Who did?
John Macken.
He was a canny little player, yeah. He was all right, him. Scored a few goals. Johnny Dan says, if we get 15 million offer for Miggy in January, then he is your suitcase bunny, lad. Yeah, I think he's away. But it is now that time of the evening where we predict our scores. And I'm sorry for the lack of graphics tonight, but as you can see, Alex isn't in his home studio where he can bring up his little toys and gadgets. Didn't sound quite right, but you know what I mean. So it is just score predictions tonight, fellas. Not an easy one to predict this. Alex, will let you go first because I haven't got a clue what I'm doing yet.
Oh, thank you. I will go for. I mean, I'm gonna predict with my heart, not my head. I'm not very optimistic about this one. I predicted we would lose to Spurs, and we ended up beating them. Sorry, I think we'll lose. I'm going to do it again because I think that might end up making us win. I'll go with Brighton are going to beat us 2-1.
Hang on a minute. What is this we used to and going negative ways
to
opposite. Make sure a positive happens?
It's reverse psychology. I'm a fan of it.
Fair enough.
I'm going Brighton 2-1.
Wow. I haven't seen anybody in the chat going for a Brighton win so far, Alex. So
Foxy has.
Foxy did, yes. Just as I was saying it came through on the chat. Billy, what are you going for?
I'm going for Desmond 2-2.
Desmond 2-2. Pedro says we're playing rubbish, man. Paul, I know we're playing rubbish, but we've got to play well at some point, haven't we? I think it's going to be a really tough game. This. A really, really tough game. I think we'll sneak it 3-2.
There you go.
And, it could be a carbon copy of the Tottenham game where Brighton are 2-0 up at half-time. We play absolute bollocks in the first half. Eddie gets the team selection wrong, makes 3 changes at half-time, and we come back and win the game 3-2.
Maybe. Or we could just score 8 goals in the first half and then
or we could just blow them away. It would be very nice, but I don't think that's going to happen, to be fair. But welcome to the Reverse Psychology Toon Review Show. These guys, have you been reading thesauruses or doing some encyclopedic reading while you've been away, Alex? And Billy, I don't know what you're doing the day to cause your reverse psychology. It makes no sense.
I haven't swallowed a dictionary anyway.
Billy, it's not Friday yet, mate. It's not Friday. You can just tell, ladies and gentlemen, that Billy is revving up for TTR Friday tomorrow.
The weekend's on its way, isn't it?
All I will say is, God help me, because Alex isn't on the show tomorrow because he's traveling home. So I'm left with Sam with a giant wine glass and Billy with his filthy mouth.
I might be on. It depends on the motorways. We'll see. If Oxford, all the road all the way up to Oxford is buggered, then I won't be on. But we'll see how the motorways are.
Yeah. But there you go. That is tonight's show done and dusted, guys. Remember, 11 o'clock in the morning, me and Billy will be on live with Eddie Howe's press conference reaction. So we'll discuss all the talking points and we'll talk about Callum Wilson being injured for another 4 weeks or something. He's had a setback or something like that, or one of his glass toes has shattered into a million pieces. But we'll see what he says in the morning. And then, of course, TTR Friday, 7 p.m. The best way to start your weekend is with good football banter and good crack and a good laugh. And we sure do all have that on a Friday, as well as you guys coming on and telling us how you're feeling ahead of the game. But thank you very much, everybody, for watching tonight. Thank you for your super chats and gifted memberships. New members, welcome as well. Please do hit the thumbs up before you leave the show. And, of course, subscribe if you're new and you like what you see. Have a look around the channel and see what you think. And don't forget, guys, we do put the shows on as a podcast. So if you listen to podcasts on Apple or Spotify or whoever you listen to your podcasts through, the show is available round about half an hour to 45 minutes after the show's finished. It's available as a podcast if you want to listen to it again when you're at the gym or walking the dog or whatever it may be. So just to let everybody know that it is as a podcast just after the show finishes. And of course, hit us up on social media as well. We have a Facebook group, Instagram. We're all on X. So find us all on the usual spiel. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Mods. Thank you, Billy and Alex. Safe trip home to you, Alex. And we will see everybody, well, me and Billy will, at 11 o'clock in the morning. Good night.
With you, Banks.
Come back and check out some green.